The modern world has a strange religion. Its God is attention. Its scripture is the feed. Its priests are people who can keep you watching. And its highest virtue is not wisdom, but visibility. If that sounds exaggerated, do one thing: look at who wins. Not who deserves to win. Who actually wins, socially, politically, economically. The winners are rarely the most thoughtful. They are the most stimulating. And that is not a cultural trend. It is a civilizational diagnosis. Because when a society stops rewarding truth and starts rewarding spectacle, it doesn't just become less intelligent. It becomes structurally unfit to survive reality. Reality does not care about charisma. Reality does not negotiate with confidence. Reality only responds to accuracy. So what happens when your entire culture trains people to prefer comforting lies, short explanations, and loud certainty? You get a population that cannot think under pressure and therefore can be controlled under pressure. That is the hidden function of modern culture. It weakens the mind while flattering the ego. And Socrates saw it coming. Ignorance is not the absence of information. Ignorance is the refusal to examine. Socrates' most lethal idea was simple. The real enemy is not knowing. The enemy is thinking you know when you don't. Because the person who knows they are ignorant can learn. But the person who feels certain becomes untouchable, immune to correction, incapable of growth. That is why false certainty spreads like a virus, and modern platforms are the perfect laboratory for it. They don't reward truth. They reward confidence that travels. The algorithm doesn't ask, is this accurate? It asks, does this activate people? Outrage, fear, ego, tribal pride, anything that keeps the nervous system hooked. So if your worldview is built from content designed to hijack your nervous system, you are not informed. You are conditioned. In Athens, Socrates fought the sophists, professional persuaders. They taught rhetoric as a weapon, how to sound right, how to win an audience, how to dominate perception. They didn't sell truth. They sold the feeling of truth. Today, the sophists are not a small class. They are the dominant industry. Influencers, pundits, political performers, fake experts, motivational prophets, identity merchants. They all sell the same product, a simple story that flatters your side, humiliates the other side, and makes you feel certain. The modern sophist doesn't need to be correct. They just need to be contagious. And the most contagious ideas are rarely the most true. They're the ones that trigger the fastest emotion. That is why the public sphere has become a psychological battlefield, not a search for reality. Socrates wasn't killed because he was dangerous to the state. He was dangerous to people's self-image. His questions did something brutal. They exposed the gap between what people believed about themselves, I'm wise, I'm good, I'm informed, and what was true, I repeat opinions, I chase status, I don't examine my life. And that exposure feels like humiliation. Most people would rather destroy the mirror than face what it shows. That is the psychological engine behind censorship, cancellation, and public shaming. It's not mainly about morality. It's about protecting collective comfort. A society that can't tolerate discomfort cannot tolerate truth, because truth often arrives as discomfort first. We did not become more informed. We became more suggestible. Here is the shocking part. We call this the age of information, but it functions like the age of hypnosis. Not because of conspiracy, because of mechanics. When people consume information at high speed, in fragments, under emotional stimulation, they become suggestible. That's basic psychology. A mind trained on short bursts becomes impatient with complexity. A mind trained on constant novelty becomes addicted to stimulation. A mind trained on outrage becomes dependent on enemies. Then you give that mind a phone. Now the agora is not a marketplace of dialogue. It is a casino. Pull the lever, scroll. Get a reward, novelty. Get a hit, outrage. Get validation, likes. Repeat. And after years of this, many people can't sit still in silence without anxiety. That's not freedom. That's a nervous system trained for consumption. Why society now rewards the wrong people? A healthy society rewards competence, accuracy, restraint, long-term thinking, humility before reality. A decaying society rewards confidence without substance, shameless self-promotion, tribal performance, manipulation, short-term stimulation. You can watch this in real time. Who gets invited on stages? Who becomes thought leaders? Who dominates the conversation? Often, it's not the one who has the deepest understanding. It's the one who can keep attention from leaving. Because attention is now money, and money reshapes morality. So the culture doesn't ask, who is wise? It asks, who is clickable? And when your selection mechanism is corrupted, your leaders become corrupted by definition. Not because they are evil, because the system selects for traits that win in a spectacle. This is how civilizations start worshipping fools. Not as a decision, as an outcome. Socrates' key insight. Unexamined does not mean unhappy. It means unowned. People misquote Socrates. The unexamined life is not worth living. They think he meant, you should be philosophical. No, he meant something more aggressive. If you do not examine your life, it will not be yours. Your opinions will be inherited. Your desires will be installed. Your enemies will be assigned. Your identity will be rented. You will feel like a person, but you will function like a product. And the most terrifying part, you will defend it. You will call it freedom. The real reason the masses choose comfort over truth. Truth has a price. It costs you the comfort of easy narratives, the pride of certainty, the dopamine of outrage, the safety of belonging, the pleasure of being right with your tribe. Wisdom is not information. Wisdom is character under pressure. It is the ability to tolerate ambiguity without collapsing into slogans. Most people can't tolerate that tension, so they outsource thinking to ideologies, influencers, parties, trends, experts who speak with theatrical certainty. Then they don't have to carry the burden of thought. They just repeat. And repetition feels like knowledge. The digital crowd is not wiser, it is more violent. Here's another uncomfortable truth. The crowd online is not a community. It's often a swarm. And swarms don't reason. They react. They punish nuance. They punish doubt. They punish anyone who refuses to chant with them. This is why intelligent people go quiet. Because the modern public sphere has become hostile to complexity. You can't build wisdom inside a system that punishes thinking. So the best minds withdraw, and the loudest fill the vacuum. Then the culture concludes. These loud voices represent truth. That's how collapse looks in its early stages, not dramatic at first, just increasingly stupid choices made with confidence. Socrates would not be surprised by our era. He would diagnose it instantly. A civilization that mistakes stimulation for meaning becomes mentally obese and spiritually malnourished. But here is the revelation that changes everything. This system is not only out there, it runs inside you. If you cannot sit with silence, the system owns part of you. If you cannot admit, "I don't know," the system owns part of you. If you need constant novelty, the system owns part of you. If you get addicted to outrage, the system owns part of you. The system doesn't need chains. It needs habits. And the ultimate chain is internal. So what does a modern Socrates look like? Not a person who argues online, not a person who wins debates. A modern Socrates is someone who does something rare and violent in today's culture. They pause. They ask, "Is this true? How do I know? What am I assuming? Who benefits if I believe this? What part of my ego is being fed right now?" Those questions are revolutionary because they interrupt the trance. The world today is designed to keep you from asking them, because a person who questions cannot be easily managed. So here is the real ending. Not inspirational, not comforting. A threat. If you don't learn how to observe your own mind, you will become the kind of person history uses. Used by fear. Used by narratives. Used by mobs. Used by leaders who know exactly how to trigger you. You won't even notice. You'll call it identity. You'll call it morality. You'll call it being informed, but it will be programming. So ask yourself, are you living by truth or by emotional convenience? Are you thinking or being managed? Are you awake or just highly stimulated? Because the moment you stop questioning, you don't become neutral. You become available. And in this age, availability is what fools exploit.